this video is to help you when you are crocheting Gertrude Ederle, the incredible woman that was the first woman to swim the English Channel. So she's a very unique doll for that very respect too, and that's because she required not one but two outfits. So when you're actually crocheting Gertrude as a doll, you will be colour changing her swimwear in as you go along. So you'll actually be swapping, starting the body in the swimwear colour, swapping to the skin tone, and then back to the swimwear colour as you go up. And then you'll be colour changing her hairline in as well. More about the hair later. Then you'll be crocheting her a swim cap. So using your beetroot, swapping to your ruby, a tight-fitting swim cap that will go over her hair, and then you crochet the goggles separately and you just sew those on. So it's not that they're removable. You'll get the best finish if you just squish them into goggles shape and then stitch those on so they're permanently fixed to the swim cap. But because I then wanted to obviously dress her, because she's going to be very cold when she gets out of that water, she's going to need an outfit. She has a coat that then goes on top. And what's quite unique about her, which is what I'm going to show in this video, is she does actually have a coat that fastens with buttons and buttonholes. And that's because I wanted, rather than fix her in place like a lot of the dolls are, where their coats and their clothing is fixed on, I wanted you to be able to remove that so you can decide whether to dress her in her swimwear or in her outer clothing. You've got a hat as well with a band that goes around, so that's the hat to go with her coat, and then you have got her mink scarf as well, so a little bit of fun with that one. Obviously not something that I'd necessarily choose to wear today, but very much of the era is the mink scarf, still with the head and the features in place. So what I'm going to go through, I'll talk through the hair, and then I'll mainly focus on the jacket. Other thing just to flag is I have also left the shoes removable in this instance. So quite often with dolls, I would sew the shoes on, but because I want her to be able to get down to her swimming gear, it means that her shoes have remained removable in this instance. So I'll just put that to one side and let's talk through the hair, and then we'll go down to the jacket detail. So when you are doing her hair, what you've done is you've colour changed in the hairline like you often would do with a standard doll. So it means that underneath all of this hair, you have got a scalp that is effectively chestnut in that colour that you've colour changed into her head. And to create this lovely short bob, what I've done is identified a parting line. So this will be here above her left eye, so the right side as I look at it. And I've crocheted then between that line and down onto the colour change line to put the shorter side in. So that's with your shorter chains as stated in your pattern. And then what I've done then is the longer ones come in over the top, exactly the same technique, but they're longer. So you come in over the top and work all the way around into the hairline and then the back again like that. And just to create this kink on the front, just to show you, all I've done there is I've tacked that into place. So once you've made those long strands moving across the top, all I've done is pulled that forwards a little bit and again tacked it in a similar way that you would sew the goggles onto the helmet, just to hold that lovely little kink feature at the front of the hair like that. And that means that it's a very compact hairstyle. There's not a lot of bulk to it at all, so that her swimming cap and then her normal hat can actually then fit on her head, subject to which outfit she's going to be dressing up in. So it means that then you can just slip it on like that. But the nice thing about sewing that kink into place is it means that you'll see that little bit of hair at the front like that. So let's get on to the jacket, because that's the bit that is very unique in its construction, especially with these buttonholes. So what you're going to have done is started from effectively underneath the armpit. So you're starting here when you're doing that first initial chain. Now I've got a bit eager and I've actually done both sleeves. And what I'm going to do is pull one back just so that I can show you the easiest way of finishing off the collar before you actually then add the sleeves on. So follow the order as stated in your pattern. That will be easier. I just got carried away with one sleeve, forgetting that I needed to be able to show you how to join that sleeve on the other one. So what you will have made is a big, well, rectangle initially, but that has increases in it. So it has your increases so that it is a triangle like that. Then what you do is you rejoin and you work as 3 panels. So a central panel, one panel like this and one like that on the other side. And that's the structure of most doll jackets, and the way that they're made is that you make effectively what is the back, and then you make 3 bits that fold over to become the sleeves. But what's slightly different about her jacket is we want this lovely rounded lapel on the front of it. So to do that, once you've made it to the position that it's in there, And you do this before you then add the sleeves on. Just ignore the fact that I've jumped the gun on this side to show you what we're trying to do. What I've done here is I've actually done this and the sleeves so that I could show you how to do that shaping. What you're going to do is fold this up like this, and then fold the lapel, so the front of the jacket and coat, we're going to fold back like that. And that is what then creates your lapel. It's actually folding this front flap back on itself like that. And then the only bit that feels a bit tricky and certainly felt wordy to actually write it down as a paragraph is, in order to create a curve edge to it rather than it be too square and too formal, what I'm going to do is I've got 6 stitches here effectively because I had 12. I folded it in half, and I just want to use 3 stitches off the back rather than it come right the way across 6 where they'd almost join. I just want to use 3 there. So what I'm going to do is sew in through the front of the lapel, both sides, so it fixes that in place, and then in through 1 stitch on the back, then back again, in through 1, and then out through that one, but then back in through the same one. So basically I'm only going to use 3 stitches off the back of the back, but I'm actually going to sew it through 6 stitches that sit on the front of the lapel. And that way, when I then pull that tight, so I've just used 1, 2, 3 off the back, but the 6 off the front, when I pull that tight like that, it gives me a nice curved edge to my lapel on my jacket rather than it being too straight and stiff. So once you've gathered those together, fasten that off so that that's done before you then rejoin to actually work your sleeve. And this is the same structure as most jackets, that once you've then got the front in place, you've left a little hole here, and that's where you actually then just rejoin with your yarn. So rejoin in like this, and you'll crochet that sleeve directly on by doing your stitches off one side like that, and then you go straight down and off the other side, and then you're in rounds putting that sleeve on as you go that way. But what I want to show you next is the other detail on the finishing of the coat. So what we're going to do once we've got our 2 lapels in place is we're going to do a double crochet stitch that just edges off the coat nicely. So you've got a nice line of neat double crochet stitches that come down from the lapel edge. But what we want to do is make sure that they're right side facing, so they look as neat as possible. So slip stitch into place at the top of your lapel, so where you've sewn that fold back. So slip stitch into place like that using your yarn, and then double crochet 15 stitches down the edge of this lapel. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So you've double crocheted 15 stitches right side facing from the top of that side of the lapel down to the middle. Then break your yarn. And because we want both sides to be right side facing, what you'll now do is fold your coat flat, look and jump across to your other one, so to your other side of your lapel in the same position, and then we're going to double crochet 15 back up from the bottom of the lapel to the shoulder on this side, so that they're both right side facing. And then once you've got those 2 edges onto your jacket nicely, the next stage is to edge the rest of it. So what we're going to do now is we're actually going to double crochet all the way around the edge with a treble on the bottom, and we want it to be right side facing again, so we can carry on straight from this side here. So rejoin. You move from the bottom upwards on that side. We're now going to rejoin at the bottom of it, but we're going to go the other way around. So we're going to double crochet right the way down this side, and then we're going to treble right the way across the bottom and then up the other side to rejoin the jacket there. So once you've double crocheted down the edge to give it a nice neat edge like that, then you're just going to treble right the way across the bottom. So you'll just be going right the way into those stitches on that last round and doing a treble in those. So once you've trebled right the way along the bottom, then just double crochet back up to the other side. So we're coming up past the buttonholes here, just so that you can really have a look at those buttonholes. So you've been chaining, obviously following your pattern to create those buttonholes as you actually make the coat. And now we're going to make the all-important fastenings so that it's possible for her to take her coat on and off as she pleases. So then making the fasteners. So first you need to make the little fasteners in their own right. So what you do is you actually do your chain, and then do your bobble, and you do another bobble at the other end. So this is what the fastener will look like. And it might seem quite unusual, but basically when I was doing it just with bobbles and then fastening over the bobbles, they didn't fasten up as well. And with joining them together with this, it also strengthens this fasten if you are going to put the coat on and off a few times, because it's running off the back of the other side of the fabric. So then once you've laid that in position, all you need to do is count up from the bottom so that you know where that is, and you want to put it in about 2 stitches in from the outside. Then take your fastener with one side like that and pull the bobble through on your non-buttonhole side. And then what you want to do is pull the other end through. So count your rows in between, should I say, and then pull the other end of the bobble through like that. So what you've got are 2 bobbles coming from the back of the fabric, but they're reinforced with that slip chain that runs down the back. And that means that you can do the coat up by pulling those bobbles through your buttonholes like that to hold the coat in position when she needs to be wearing her outer coat rather than her swimwear. So that is how I've created the little buttonholes and then the bobbles with that slip that goes in the back. Obviously I've got lots of ends to sew in now. The only other thing to mention is the pockets. So then you add the pockets on afterwards. The pockets are dead simple. All you're going to be doing to add the pockets on, they obviously don't function like real pockets. They are just trebles to create extra detail, is you'll chain and then you'll treble along a row like that to put a little run of treble stitches in. Break yarn, and then you just sew in that side and that side like that to create that lovely little top of pocket detail that sits on her coat. So I hope that's been helpful, especially doing something that's quite new. It's new to me to put in functioning buttonholes and bobbles so that her coat is removable. But I hope it's something that you quite enjoy doing, especially if you've made lots of dolls before. The idea that now you can take on and off her coat so she can go on display however you wish with all her various accessories. Enjoy making her. Do share your pictures. She's an absolutely incredible woman, really inspiring. So a pleasure to make. I hope you think about swimming the channel as you're actually crocheting your way through her coat.